Alright, lost the die roll. Turn 1 Deathrite Shaman. Or Thoughtseize, depending on what they do. Hopefully we get a turn 1. Basic Plains, Aether Vial, in. This is just like 10 out of 10 turn 1 Deathrite Shaman. They could have done something that would have implied they could have been a combo deck. I think I might have turn 1 Thoughtseize, but against Jund, I'm definitely going to turn 1 Aether Vial here. The reason Goyf isn't in here, yeah, we're playing Goblin Rabblemaster instead just to give it a try. It makes our threat slightly less dependent on the graveyard, because we already have a lot of other graveyard synergy, so having another card that gets turned off by, like, Rest in Peace seems bad. And it, this is awkward. So I should have used my fetch land, because now they're going to get to port me. If I would have used the fetch land, I could have used the Deathrite Shaman during my upkeep to Abrupt Decay this Aether Vial. Yeah, it's a little loose on my part. So now what do I want to do here? Another Thoughtseize. Okay, I kind of just want to double Thoughtseize them now, right? I think double Thoughtseize is the line. If they have Mother of Runes this turn, that's going to feel a little bit bad, but that's still okay. Let's take a peek here. If they don't have Mother of Runes, we're in a really good spot. Don't have Mother of Runes, that's great. Alright, I think I just take Plow, take Revoker here. So like get these Thoughtseizes while the Thoughtseizing is good. I don't want them to turn off my Deathrite Shaman here. Black mana, Thoughtseize them again. Jacob. We've got Flicker Wisp, Karakas, Plateau in hand. Pass the turn. We're in Bedlam Revelers without the Bob. I'm not sure I need that effect. I'm not sure I need that effect. There's the Plateau, another Aether Vial. Okay, so I assume they're gonna port me again during my upkeep here. They have Karakas. And then, since they're porting me again, I'm just gonna Abrupt Decay this Aether Vial on 2, so that way if they want to be able to deploy the Flicker Wisp next turn, they have to use their mana to do so. Go and attack here. So now they have to choose to, like, between porting me and deploying their Flicker Wisp, which feels good for us. Since I have these Lingering Souls. Okay, so choosing just to port me. If we rip a land here, we're going to be in a pretty good spot, because we get to deploy Dark Confidant. Oh, well, that's good for us. They chose... We could have Faithless Looting if we missed on the land there, but we hit on the land, so let's just play Bob out. You know, no reason not to attack here. The only one drop they could have is Mother of Runes, so might as well get my free points in here. If they hit a land last turn, they can deploy the Flicker Wisp, plus still port me, which is a touch annoying, but, like, it's not the end of the world. We get 2 draws at, like, a Wasteland or something. Do they have Magus of the Moon? They do. Okay, so I have this Punishing Fire, so that's good for us. Bobby, what do you say, Bob? Don't do me dirty. Rabblemaster. Rabblemaster hurts a little bit with Bob. I think I'm gonna lead on Faithless Looting, see what we get. Been this Lingering Souls. Been this Badlands? No, I think I want the Badlands actually, so I just have more red once I kill this Magus, right? So I'm gonna do this. Just go ahead and kill this now. Hey! Oh, yeah, Bish, with the brand new Twitch Prime support. Thank you very much and welcome. I do appreciate that. As always, subs are the best way you can support my content here. Do I want to attack with Bob? Probably not. I certainly want to floop Lingering Souls into play here, though, I think. I want to just do that. Yeah, I'm gonna attack. If they have a Flicker Wisp or something, that's fine. I think I need to get my licks in here. Allow for Bob, deal. So they can Flicker Wisp me off one of my spirit tokens, but I don't really care about that, right? They get to port one of my lands. Goblin Rabblemaster gets to go to work. If you ever find a Grove of the Burnwillows, they're going to be in a bunch of trouble. I don't have any lands in the discard pile, so I'm just going to go ahead and play the Rabblemaster here. I'm not going to attack with these spirit tokens because I know my opponent has a copy of Flicker Wisp in their hand, and they can blink one, and then I want the other one back on defense, I think. So, like, make it not valuable. Yeah, Floop is like Floop the Pig. This is exactly correct. So this Inquisition's actually going to come in handy here. So we get to go ahead and Inquisition them and force them to activate the Vial, and then we can Punishing Fire the Mother of Runes in response, which is nice. We also drew a Bolt for the turn. That's decent for us. So let's lead on Inquisition. See what our opponent does. It's like forces action out of them, which is nice for us. They didn't port us, which makes me curious as to, like, why didn't they port us? Sure. We know they have a Flicker Wisp. They have the Vial on 3. Okay, Flicker Wisp is going to come in. It did not feel particularly strong to me. And, like, you can certainly win games with it. Like, it's got some modern playable cards, but it doesn't seem very good. A Batterskull, that's interesting. Okay, so I think we're just going to kill both their creatures and smash them here. Seems like the line. If they miss on a land for the Batterskull, we're in a pretty great spot. If they don't miss on the land for a Batterskull, we're still hitting them for a good amount here. This is down to 7 here. If they hit a land for the Batterskull, the fact that these goblins have to attack is a little awkward. They hit the land, yep. Alright, so we do get to flashback Faithless Looting this turn, so we've got that going for us. We also have Abrupt Decays, Grove of the Burnwillows is an okay draw. Another Faithless Looting. I'm going to flash back the Faithless Looting out of my graveyard. Dark Confidant and Abrupt Decay. There aren't any lands in any of the graveyards, which kind of sucks for us. Discard these two, I think. Hold the Abrupt Decay. I think I'm just going to smash them with everything here. If they want to trade the Germ token for my Goblin Rabblemaster, I think I'm okay with that. Hold old Deathrite back here to gobble some stuff. This is going to be a 5/2. You can always see the deck list that we're planning to play in the donation queue. Links there. If they just eat a Goblin token here, they take 5, 6, 7, 8. Nope, they are just trading. Okay, that's good for us. So they're going to stay at 7 here. Oh, right. That's how that works. Oh, I could have just done that, I suppose. I always forget that that's how Punishing Fire works. Maybe I should have attacked with this too, just because I forgot I was going to get to trigger. I thought I was going to eat a spell, but I forgot Punishing Fire triggers when they gain health with the Batterskull Germ. Forgot about that. First game, first match. Are they dead? I believe they are dead. They have... I get to Abrupt Decay. I'm just going to attack them with everything. Yeah, I'll attack them with everything. If they don't trade Mom for one of my goblins... Actually, they should just be dead anyways, right? They could trade Mom for a Goblin, and then they go to 4, and then I drain them with Deathrite, Punishing Fire them for lethal. Okay, yeah, they're just dead here. So, we'll go ahead and exile their Plow. We'll send this Punishing Fire upstairs. One's conceding, because they know about Punishing Fire in my hand. All right, what do I want to bring in this matchup? We don't have a ton of cards for this matchup, but I don't think this matchup's that bad for us, so it's not a big deal. Sylvan Library and Abrupt Decay are certainly coming in. I think Golgari Charm is okay. I could take it or leave it. It's a touch awkward that it makes our creature smaller too, but I think that's fine. Today is a Legacy day. We're going to play this, and then we've got a Jurassic Nick Fit deck, and then we've got a Mono Black Reanimator Storm deck that's kind of sweet. Awesome, Night Saint Draft. I'll make sure to check my PO box. I think I want to just trim discard. I think just taking the Thoughtseizes out seems fine here. This is what I want to do. Yeah, I think trimming this card, and I think I want to trim the more expensive ones. Like, the Inquisition missing the Batterskull that game felt bad, but our health total is a pretty precious resource in this matchup, and we don't have a ton of ways to gain life, so I think I'd rather err on the side of my discard not hurting me, and just, like, missing their Batterskulls and their Gideons if they have them. I'm gonna go ahead and submit. This is not quite. Brought in 4, take out 4. Perfect. Nice and clean. Bring in Surgicals for punishing fires. Sure. Yeah, if they want to surgical me, that's fine. Seems pretty good, right? Having 3 lands in our opener is pretty good in this matchup because it allows us to play through their ports and their wastelands a little bit better here. What the opponent does on 1, it'll determine whether or not we want a Deathrite or Inquisition. Yeah, I have some good ones every now and again. Okay, yeah, I think I'm just gonna play Deathrite on 1 here. If opponent plays a Thalia on 2, we can go Bolture Thalia plus Crack Fetch Land Inquisition U, which seems fine for us. Okay. It's fine. Opponent has the same start they did last game. I'm gonna go ahead and crack this fetch here and grab a Bayou. Extra green mana. I'm gonna go ahead and Inquisition my opponent here, and then we can bolt a Mother of Runes in response to them putting that into play. They have a Thalia, and they have a Varin Wingmere. Yeah, I agree. I think this matchup is definitely slightly ahead for our side of the table, and I think Faithless Looting helps make our fair matchups like this a little bit better even. So, do I want to take the Thalia, or do I want to take the Wingmere? The upside to taking the Thalia is that they don't have a 2-drop to put in off their Vial next turn. I think that's worthwhile. Like, whatever I'm doing, I'm probably just bolting anyways. So, if they, like, spend 3 mana to cast Wingmere next turn, that's okay for us. I think there's a very real possibility that their play next turn is just, like, what's the word I'm searching for? Just, like, Wasteland me plus pass with Port Up. So, you know what? Turn off auto yield. I'm just gonna go ahead and cast this other Deathrite Shaman while the getting is good here. Might as well do that. Use my. I was almost gonna attack for 1. I was like, nah, let's just use our mana every turn. If they wasteland us, especially, we'll get to have 2 lands in the graveyard, so we can still play the Thalia, the Liliana out at the Thalia. Yep. So there's the wasteland. I assume they're gonna wasteland us, and then port us during our upkeep. We have conveniently played Birds of Paradise on turn 1 and turn 2 here, so we just get to go ahead and use those to cast this Liliana and discard the other Liliana that we have. Draw a Wasteland of our own, which is kind of nice. We'll hold on to the Lightning Bolt for the time being and bin this extra Liliana. I'm assuming they're discarding a land here, which is fine. That feeds our Deathrite Shamans nicely. What's going on, Stream Girl Eva? Thanks everyone coming out today. We're gonna play some Legacy this afternoon. It's been a little while since we played some Legacy. Magic's oldest format. It's gonna hang out a few different decks to try. Check my Twitter for postings of all the decks that we're gonna play, or take a peek on my man, we're getting some good timeouts here. God, that's a good one. So I have all this removal in my hand. Am I supposed to just... I almost feel like I'm just supposed to keep pushing the Liliana up since I have all this removal. Especially since I drew the Punishing Fire that I can get back with Grove of the Burnwillows now. Although if they have another 3-drop, I'm going to feel a little bit bad about that. They must have drawn a 3-drop, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and Edict them here. I'm going to go ahead and Edict them. Get that out of the way. I'm going to Wasteland the Rishadan port here as well. See what they do here. I mean, we're mostly just traditional Jund. We're just playing Goblin Rabblemaster and what's it called? We're playing Goblin Rabblemaster and Faithless Looting in our deck. I'm just gonna pass here. I suppose I could... Yeah, I get frisky with a Deathrite Shaman. I've got a Bolt and a Punishing Fire here. Might as well. I have a limited number of spells in the graveyard, so my Deathrite Shamans only have so much to eat. What you got, opponent? That's kind of annoying. Just go ahead and do this now. Play around a Flicker Wisp. This does expose me to a potential Surgical Extraction if they have one, but that's fine. Go for it, sure. Do they even get anything here? Because Liliana just pluses and eats it, right? Why would you even get the Batter Skull there? Just, like, make me discard? Well, I'm going to give you a health. I'm going to return this Punishing Fire to my hand. I'm going to plus my Liliana. Discard this Punishing Fire. Then I'm going to play this Grove with the Burnwillows out and give you a health. Return my Punishing Fire to my hand. Having fun yet, opponent? I'm having fun. Is it good for you? Yeah, they almost certainly shouldn't have played the land, right? But I mean, like, the Stoneforge Mystic is just dying to Deathrite Shaman, right? So, like, or just dying to Punishing Fire. So, like, does it really matter? Maybe they're supposed to get Jite and hold the land so they can cast Jite. But I feel like we're just, like, this is just, like, an exercise in futility at this point, right? Like, my opponent's just, like, playing a game of Magic that's just, like, very, very over. I keep pushing this up. This feels good. Man, I can't wait. I can't wait to Faithless Looting. I can't wait to Faithless Looting and ditch Punishing Fire. That just sounds like really fantastic. I actually only have 2. There's only 1 spell in a graveyard right now, so I'm just gonna attack for 2 here. Game is pretty over unless they have some kind of crazy legacy card. You're killing my Badlands. That seems loose. I feel like your out is killing both of my Grove the Burnwillows, but who am I to judge you, opponent? Really, if that's what you want to do, is that then yeah, who am I to deny you the simple pleasure? That's distasteful. This'll be good. Like, you don't want Punishing Fire to be legal in Modern. Each player chooses one of the opponent's controls an artifact, a creature, enchantment, and land, and sacrifices the rest. I mean, like, that was their best draw, right? So maybe I should have held the Grove of the Burnwillows to play around this. Artifact, a creature, an enchantment. So I'm going to go down to just 1 Deathrite and 1 land here. Yeah, I probably should have held this other Grove, and they certainly should have held their Wasteland. I think I just Punishing Fire them here in response. Oh, this puts my Badlands in my graveyard, though. Yeah, this is loose. I just shouldn't have done this. Yeah, I'm just gonna hit no here. I'm gonna hit no. We did talk about crazy legacy cards. You're not wrong. Yeah, so this was my mistake. I should have kept. Oh, it kills Liliana too. Oh, geez, that's really good. All right, well, we're playing a game now because I messed up. My 10 out of 10 should have 10 out of 10 should have held my third Grove in my hand. If I like plow into Thalia, we could be in trouble. That's pretty good for us though. Stop on the upkeep and destroy the crap out of this Aether Vial. They don't have something to put into play here. We should be pretty far ahead. We'd still be light years ahead if I'd have held that land in my hand. Yeah, they drew a plow. Okay, yep, go ahead, opponent. Looking for a Faithless Looting before they find a Wasteland. Yep. Yeah, we're gonna do all Legacy this afternoon. Yep. Again, I'd be +1 land here if I'd have sequenced better. Okay, that means if we find a land, we'll be able to find more lands, hopefully. I'm down a Badlands. Oh, jeez. Hey, the Stinger MTG, we made a baby, the 9-month resubscription. Thanks a lot, welcome back, bud. I appreciate the continued support. I do appreciate it. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to put X back in my schedule. We're just doing a lot of Magic these days. I guess I just bid the Punishing Fire, right? Because it comes back later. Like next turn I can return it, I can give them a health and return it. They've already played I think 2 Wastelands, so I only have 2 more of those in their decks, so that's good for us. In response to this port, I'm gonna put Fire back in my hand. I know it just gives them a health, but if I draw a land, I want the extra Punishing Fire for this Faithless Looting. Really need to hit a land here. That's unfortunate. Guess I just pass back here. I'll ditch these 2 for now. Yep. It really shows you how, like, the little things that you could play that, like, yep. The little things that decisions that you can make really come back to bite you in games like this. Like if I would have thought about Cataclysm, we would have been able to play around it by holding that land, and then I'd have been able to be ahead in this game where we're currently probably a favorite to lose at this point because I didn't play around the Cataclysm. One was very fortunate to draw what's likely a 1-of out of their sideboard, but I had the option to play around it and we didn't. Opponent having the inverse problem as us, so that's kind of nice. Our deck has a lot of lands in it too. We're playing 2021, I think. Unless... No, I'm not going to play the Ascendancy deck in India, I don't think. I think playing that after the results of the Pro Tour would be a pretty big mistake. Yeah, the 8 discard decks are just like, you know, you should be playing an 8 discard deck. Performed very well. We're going to test a few different 8x discard decks. I don't really know what I want at this point. We've just, like, lost so much card advantage to, like, having to move to hand size here. That's so fucking good for us. It's unreal how good that is for us. I get to finally cast this Faithless Looting. I was gonna get to finally cast it anyways. I'm gonna start with this because we could find a basic swamp, of which I have 2. No basic swamp. Okay. I need this Abrupt Decay eventually. I'm binning this, and then binning a fire at this point. I probably only need 1 of those. I could just looting again. Okay. Man, what do I even want to discard at this point? I think it's Sylvan Library plus Deathrite Shaman. So it's like I can bolt plus Mr. Silicone with the 10-month resubscription. Thank you very much and welcome back. I appreciate the continued support. So I get to bolt the Magus plus decay the Rest in Peace. That does leave them with 2 ports, but I have the Punishing Fire back online, which is nice. Kolaghan Command is going to be okay here down the line. Sure. Could also have Kolaghan's commanded that, but I don't think that really matters. That one. If we get a black source next turn, we can play Dark Confidant. Would be nice. Okay. Okay. They could have a plow. They have 4 cards in their hand, so I feel like the odds of them having another plow is pretty good, right? They've only played 1 so far? Yeah. It's pretty unsurprising. Pass the turn here. I think I'm just holding this decay in the event of another Rest in Peace. Need to keep this Punishing Fire around. Opponent's playing Death and Taxes. An old deck that still sees play, even though it's not particularly good. It was actually pretty popular at the last team event, probably because it's pretty cheap to build in paper. It usually doesn't play any reserve list cards, so it's fairly inexpensive to build. Play this out and pass the turn. There's kind of a black source in the bank here. How many win conditions am I down at this point? We're through a Lingering Souls, 1 Bob, 2 Bob. There's a Mother of Runes. How about if I punish your mom? I think I'm gonna go Shock Shatter here. I want to Bayou. Yeah, I think I want a red source that doesn't give them health for the Punishing Fire. I think I want to just take the Vial back out. Nah, I'm just gonna Punishing Fire this. That's right, they have a Flicker Wisp. I can go. Fire back. I'm gonna be a little bit disconnected from what's going on in chat here for a little bit because I am low on time and this is only game 2 and there's not a 100% lock that I win this game. So in the event that I lose this game, I don't need to play a 3rd game pretty quickly. So be a little disconnected from what's going on in chat, and I apologize for that. Should auto yield to some of these triggers so they stop coming up. Actually, don't have another fetchable red source, right? Because this my Badlands is dead. Yeah. Are they like thinking about porting me proactively here? Like, what are we doing, opponent? Going on, Iron? We hit Batterskull? Smells like Batterskull, right? A 2nd Cataclysm. That's really fortunate for me. I timed you out because you said Death and Taxes is good, but you didn't defend your statement as to why Death and Taxes is good. So think about why you think Death and Taxes is good, and then come back later when you've thought about that. I choose to keep my Grove of the Burnwillows here again. So multiple Cataclysms. Man, okay. Woof. I guess I could have floated mana there. Be able to kill this. Now I need to draw a land right away. Yeah, I'm just gonna concede at this point. I think we're pretty cold to that. Death and Taxes just isn't good anymore because the reason why Death and Taxes was good is because it was able to attack the Delver decks and the kind of greedy decks efficiently, and Deathrite Shaman lets those greedy decks play through that disruption in a really meaningful way, which is bad for the Death and Taxes deck. I think because they have multiple copies of Cataclysm, I'm going to bring in these Thoughtseizes over the Inquisitions. Like, that's just what I want to do. We're going to be conscious to play around that the best we can. Golgari Charm seems fine because it kills Rest in Peace. Okay, yeah, let's do this. I think this is a matchup where Rabblemaster is probably worse than Goyf. This hand is great. Just gonna go basic Swamp Deathrite Shaman here, so they can't Wasteland me on one. They plow Deathrite Shaman, we get to play Dark Confidant. If they don't plow Deathrite Shaman, I get to play Liliana of the Veil. Yep. Heal. Badlands. Yeah, I think if Deathrite Shaman wasn't legal, Death and Taxes would be a perfectly fine deck. With Deathrite Shaman gone, it's a little bit awkward that I didn't fetch green there since I need to fetch red for these other cards. Like, if they go Plow plus Wasteland here, I'm going to be in a little bit of trouble, but they don't have a second Plow. We're going to be pretty reasonably off. Stoneforge, sure. A Umezawa's Jite. I think they're just assuming that this is going to die. We showed them Punishing Fire there. Wait. Hey, played through on the 7-month resubscription. Thanks a lot and welcome back, bud. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and looting here to start, I think, just I really need to hit a land drop. Perfect. I'm gonna bin Fire, bin Liliana, I think is my line. And then play this. I don't think I want to Abrupt Decay this. I think I'd rather save the Decay for the Umezawa's Jite or Rest in Peace potentially. I don't know, that's close. I really want to use my mana efficiently. Really want to use my mana efficiently. I'll talk about the thing with Cedric. Ask me after this match. We only have 8 minutes and I'm down on clock. I'm trying to figure out best lines here in a matchup that has a lot of decision points. I could just go for like the kill all their things plan. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and pass here. See what they do here. Some Mother of Runes, yep. So hopefully we hit a land here, so we can go Punishing Fire plus Decay the Umezawa's Jite. I'm kind of committed to that line. Punishing Grove of the Burnwillows is a great land to have drawn. So I can play this, and I can go ahead and Jacob, Dad's in the middle of something right now, buddy. Do that. And just pass the turn here, I think. If opponent has a Batter Skull, I guess I'm going to be a little bit sad. They can just like have the Batter Skull in their hand naturally. Yeah, they just had the Batter Skull in their hand naturally. That's really unfortunate for us. They have like land Cataclysm here. We're probably gonna die. We do have Kolaghan's Command. We've got that going for us. I want to Abrupt Decay this Germ. I really just feel like I can't go another turn not using my mana. So yeah, I'm gonna Abrupt Decay this Germ. Yeah, I think I'm gonna Abrupt Decay the Germ, and at this point just kill all their things. Gonna ban you, because you have no reason to say that. No. Council's Judgment, okay. That's fine. Huh. I think I just Liliana Edict them here, right? Yeah, I think that's the line. Liliana Edict them. Back a thing. Turn here. I mean, the Chains Anvil jump deck was kind of a meme. By kind of, I mean entirely. They have Cataclysm. I'm pretty afraid of that card at this point. It's kind of terrifying. Magus of the Moon? Magus of the Moon seems pretty loose since I just get to get my Punishing Fire back. I feel like there's enough matches in Legacy where change just doesn't have an impact. Yeah, I think so. I think we just hold lands for now. I think that's a realistic thing. Start by plussing this, see what happens. I think I just spin the fire again, right? Just sort of fire dice. Alright. Do I just... They're obviously bouncing the Batter Skull here, right? I think I'm just gonna go Deathrite into Rabblemaster. Just like try and shut the door here before they have a chance to Cataclysm us. Yeah, it's 3 mana to bounce the Batter Skull. They don't have a Cataclysm here. They're gonna be in a lot of trouble. Alright, well now we just get to empty their hand, right? We just go, shatter your Batter Skull, make you discard. Or your player discards a card, return, shatter this. And then I get to go ahead and make red mana here with my Deathrite Shaman. And then give them a health with Grove of the Burnwillows and get both my Punishing Fires back to my hand. Yes. Yes. I'd like to plus my Liliana. And then again, we're choosing not to play this land out to play our own Cataclysm here, potentially. Goblin Rabblemaster is going to get in for a clean 6-ball here. Yeah, you have a Rishadan port. That's nice. It's nice. Land are you porting? You're porting my Grove. Fire back. Use this to exile that. Thanks for the donation. Again, we're kind of in the middle of something, so I will check messages here in a second. Drew a card, sure, plus this. Discard that. Goblin Rabbleman gets in here for... in there for 8. Or dead next turn. Alright, got him. Sweet. 1-0. Undefeated with Faithless Looting Jun. Clearly clearly have broken legacy. Let's check that donation message. Thanks everyone for hanging out here this afternoon. Was that for donation deck? Or that demigod deck? I'm gonna need you to re-ping me wherever you messed me at demigod deck. Again, if you're making a donation deck list, you need to put the deck list in the donation description, like I mentioned. Frenzied Mage, a snow day feels good. What's going on? Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thank you for the continued support. I do appreciate it. I debated a lot of standard events with Goblin Rabblemaster on turn 2. He's kind of my bro, which is part of the reason we're playing him today. I do enjoy me some Rabblmasters. Legacy staple, Goblin Rabblemaster, ain't that the truth? Cedric and I were going back and forth because I made a comparison to between Bedlam Reveler and Treasure Cruise, 2 cards that draw 3 cards while using the graveyard as a resource to do so. And then Cedric did what I'm going to call the typical just Magic player thing and just said, no, you're stupid, those things aren't the same, and just like didn't articulate himself or defend his position, just like took the, no, you're dumb and you should listen to me because I know better than you. And that's really rude. It's okay to say you disagree or you think that comparison's not fair or it's not apt, and then say why you think it's not fair, but just saying, hey, you're stupid and wrong, that's not useful or constructive in any way, shape, or form. And I get that Twitter has limited characters, although we now have twice the characters we used to, but he was nowhere near the character limit in the post where he was letting me know that he felt I was stupid. I mean, Cedric's entitled to act however he wants. You know, it's his personal Twitter account. It's not like he's representing a business or anything like that. I'm just gonna go basic swamp Inquisition here. Nikki, you should join the subs Discord and check the article that I posted in article previews. My article for Gathering Magic this week is going to be breaking down and diagnosing the metagame from the Pro Tour and talking about what's good, bad, and otherwise. Punishing Fire, Young Pyromancer. All right, who's ready for some grind here? Yep, well, our Goblin Rabblmasters are definitely worse against opposing Punishing Fires than Tarmogoyf would be. So, better against Fatal Push, worse against Lightning Bolt and Punishing Fire here. I took the cantrip there because it was the only way to really get set up. These are spots where it's a little bit awkward that I don't have a Taiga in my deck, because maybe I just shouldn't fetch basic swamp so aggressively. I should just like lean into fetching non-basics perhaps. I'm choosing not to play out a Pyromancer because I want to get a guaranteed trigger out of it. Makes sense. Lingering Souls. Unfortunately, just missed our land drop here, so can't really do much. Yeah, like we've got Lingering Souls in the main deck to make Faithless Looting a little bit better too, so I think the splash for the creatures out of the board is like fairly free. Or if they drew like a Spell Pierce or something like that here. At any rate, I'm going to fetch Badlands and then go ahead and Punishing Fire my opponent. You'll want to contact Twitch or Discord support. Their integrations are all handled automatically. Make sure you're trying to connect it via the web browser and not the Discord client or your mobile client. I don't really have a lot of opinions on Traditional Jund. I just like Traditional Jund lacks card selection, so I'm trying to change that by adding the card Faithless Looting to it. Get linked into that Discord automatically by linking your 2 accounts. Details on how that works here. All right, so I'm just gonna fetch Bayou and then play the Rabblemaster here. It'll suck a little bit if my opponent has like land Pyromancer into Punishing Fire, but I think I just want to get my guaranteed Rabble token in here. And we've got a bunch of surgical extractions in our sideboard, so we're not just dead in the water by any means. This is a Pyromancer into a Punishing Fire for our Rabblemaster, I'd assume. Because we knew they had that card. We also have a couple of Wastelands to keep them off of Grove of the Burnwillows, potentially. Oh, they just have Lightning Bolts. Sure. Yep, I'm just going to go ahead and kill this now. Just clean that right up. I have no idea what our opponent is playing. They must have another instant here to generate another token. A matchup that's pretty bad for our Liliana the Veils, but looking pretty good for our Lingering Souls, so we got that going for us. They have Punishing Fire plus one card we don't know remaining in hand. Yeah, hopefully we'll just, like, draw... I might just, like, hold the Lilianas, honestly, so we can discard them to Faithless Looting down the line. Holy dicks. I mean, yep. Yep. Pretty sure we're just dead to that one. And this is part of the reason why I took a break from Legacy 2 is just the online metagame is just like so many people like inbreeding all these fair decks that it's just like people trying to out fucking greet each other that it's just like it's like Hex's current standard format basically. It's like Hex's current standard format. I'm just gonna concede and move on with my life. Alright, so let's get these in here. Let's get this Golgari Charm and Sylvan Library in here, I think. Let's take these Liliana the Veils and throw them away. Talk about those. Want these Thoughtseizes? Probably not. Opponent's deck's a touch aggressive. The Inquisition seem fine. Surgical Extractions to potentially take away their Punishing Fires seem okay as at least a 2 of. I guess I could board the third one in as well. No, and part of the problem is actually it's like to a T representative of like the problem is that like the cards you use to inbreed to fight the control decks in the format also just like happen to be good against combo. Like Leovold's good against combo decks and Deathrite Shaman's good against combo decks. I mean, I think people trying to outfare each other is good and interesting when, like, it's not everyone just, like, playing around the same shell. Like, all of these people trying to outfare each other are mostly playing, like, you know, Deathrite Shaman stuff. I don't think they're going to ban anything. I think expecting any amount of bans in Modern, it's probably, like, getting your hopes up for nothing. I wouldn't be too surprised if they unbanned a few things, but I think expecting any bannings after this last Pro Tour is probably pretty unrealistic. I want this third surgical. I don't think I do. I think I'm happy with the rest of my cards. Just gonna go ahead and submit. I enjoy playing combo decks, but like I think I'd be lying to myself if I was like trying to tell myself that like the combo decks were well positioned against these fair decks that are inbreeding against each other. I conceded to Edric because I let my opponent draw a bunch of extra cards. Every time one of my opponent's creatures hit me, they got to draw a card. And I took a hit with Faithless Looting, and we didn't find removal for it, so we were done there. Yeah, this hand's just, like, close but not good enough, right? Like, subtract any card at random and add a second land, and it's fine. Or, like, make this Bayou a red source, and it's fine, but this isn't keepable at 7. If I had a Scry, I'd probably keep it, because I like being greedy. This hand is not exciting, but it's a keep, I think, at 6. This... Deathrite Shaman. Yeah, that's fine. It's kind of like a land, right? Let's keep him on top for now. And we knew most of the cards in their deck. Most of the cards in their hand. I guess they get 2 new ones. It doesn't really matter. Like, the EV of, like, knowing one more card of their deck isn't very large. Which one of the reasons why, like, again, like, the reason why the blue decks just end step Brainstorm, that's loosey-goosey. The reason why the blue decks tend to have such a leg up in Legacy is because they have card selection, and playing with the Mardu Pyromancer deck in Modern got me thinking, like, maybe we can get some of that similar card selection in Legacy with a non-blue deck on the back of Faithless Looting. Someone explain why the colored artifact lands are banned in Modern, but things like Mox Opal, because Wizards of the Coast doesn't apply the ban list consistently and doesn't really know what they're doing. Every time WotC Wizards, whatever you want to call them, has like banned things in Modern, the format's always still been healthy and diverse. So the Modern format is successful in spite of Wizards, not because of Wizards. Grab a Bayou here. Grab a Badlands here. This deck just plays all the terrible lands, huh? Scrublands and Badlands. They lightning bolt me, they lightning bolt me. There's a reasonable merit to, like, if they were forcing my Goblin Rabblemaster. Bet they don't have a removal spell in hand. They left Spell Pierce in their deck too. Interesting. I'm just gonna smack them for one here. I'm not doing anything else. Might as well get my chip shot in. Oh, we're gonna lose because they're ghosting. Okay. Okay. Well. The opponent's either terrible at magic or ghosting. Those are the two options. So we're gonna surgical to counter their surgical here. Maybe we won't play more Legacy today. This is why we stopped playing Legacy for a little while. Because we get ghosted every league when we play Legacy, so yeah, maybe we'll just play more Modern today. I don't, yeah, this is probably going to be the last Legacy league, and I'm just going to put these other ones back on the back burner. We'll figure out what else we want to do. Yeah, we'll play some Modern. We get ghosted occasionally in Modern too, but it's not literally every league. Pitch. Why would you fight over that? Just pitch my sure. Maybe we'll play Pauper. That could be fun. I do have a Pauper donation deck in the queue. That could be amusing. Pauper's been popular lately. And exile their Ponder. Okay, good. Hope the opponent's enjoying what's going on here. Second Grove. So if they have a Punishing Fire here, we're going to be a little bit sad. Like they're auto-passing. Oh, look at that. They're conceding because they're dead. All right. Well, I'm going to put my card blocker for game 3 here since we're getting a game 3. Put the sponsors page up while I adjust my sideboard. You need a diaper change, oldest son? You can sit by me. You can't put the blanket over my head, though. You can't put the blanket over my head. So apologies for the people that are watching. I know the card blocker makes for bad content, but fortunately, this is the world we're going to be living in here. We're going to keep my hand because it's the Stone Cold Nuts. Hopefully, the opponent mulligans to 4, trying to find. Nah, you can't create a stream delay midstream. I have to stop streaming and come back online. Whereas with the card blocker, I can just resize it here. Play Deathrite Shaman out here on 1, which is the start of my curve. That is the Stone Cold Nuts. Opponent has the turn 1 Brainstorm yet again. There's a very real possibility that, like, my opponent wasn't ghosting and they're just, like, kind of terrible at Magic. They're just, like, surgicaling anything. They've, like, end-step Brainstormed twice now. So, like, there's a non-zero chance that, like, there isn't actually a ghost going on here and they're just, like, bad at the game. Those are the two options. Those are the two options. I got these important choices that I have to mull over that I wish I could share with everyone in chat, but unfortunately I cannot. I'm gonna play Robert, get some card advantage going. This makes us a little bit sad if they have Grove with the Burnwillows. They can, like, bounce the fire and then replay it, but I think the upside here is pretty high if Robert lives. Dr. Peasy, sure. No land is good. Sweet. Yep. Alright. See if this one resolves. Oh, that one resolved. Your move, Kaiba. Your move. Alright. Just gonna unhide this. I think we can play with them knowing our hand at this point. Enjoy. No blocks. That's the best way to make yourself feel better about someone ghosting, right? Just like choke them out. They don't make them like they used to. Ain't that the truth? Give me a health? That's so nice of you, opponent. I enjoy extra health. Play this Deathrite Shaman. Banner's a tiny bit bigger than normal. Okay. I just started using, I got this vertical mouse that's supposed to be more ergonomic for you, but I'm definitely slightly less accurate with it. I'm slightly slower, which is probably why I've been behind on clock in both these games. In addition to this deck, like, generating a lot of longer game decisions, I've definitely been playing a little bit slower because of that. Rabble. Oh, none of those are red mana. We did win game 3 against the Death and Taxes deck. These Rabblемasters have been kind of great. These Rabblемasters have been kind of... My old mouse did not die. I'm just like... I'm getting old, so I'm trying to be like, you know, more conscious of my body and the decisions I'm making surrounding it. So, just like, you know, I use the computer a lot. We have the standing desk now. Just, you know... Waiting for the next match to pop. I'd just like to say good morning, afternoon, good night to everyone wherever you're in the world. Thanks for tuning in to join us here. My name is Jeff Hoagland. Hanging out playing some Magic the Gathering here. We're starting out with Faithless Looting Jund. If you're enjoying what you see, please make sure you hit that follow button. It doesn't cost you anything. Helps other people find my stuff. If you're really enjoying what you see, please consider subscribing on Twitch. That's the absolute best way you can support my content here. Allows me to spend more time making content like this and less time doing other things. You can also support my content by supporting my sponsors, mtgotraders.com. I'd love to buy and sell Magic Online cards with you. And if you use code Hoagland PayPal at checkout with them, you'll save 8% on your singles orders there. CoolStuffInc.com buys and sells a lot of cool stuff, including TCG singles. Using promo code Jeff5, you can save 5% on Magic, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh cards with them. And finally, InkedGaming.com would love to help you customize your gaming experience. They do custom playmats, mouse pads, binders, bags. They really do it all. It's already broken from using the mouse. I am in the middle of working.
I want to try it.
Try the mouse. It's weird. I'm definitely slower and less accurate with it.
I feel like I'm...
Sounds pretty good.
Playing a dexterity game.
It's got a Thoughtseize into Dark Confidant. Kind of hard to pass that up. It is not a trackball. You still moving around. Still moving around on the desk like a normal mouse. The mouse is just, it's vertical, so when your hand is on it, your hand goes like this instead of being down over it. Just mono taxes, huh? Is this the same player as earlier? There's a different player. You want to sit up behind me? There you go. All right. Take a look, Ski-Poo here. What you got going on? That's pretty unfortunate for us. Opponent's definitely going to Wasteland us next turn, so they have 2 Wastelands. We will get to Faithless Looting to hopefully dig into some more lands, but we're definitely losing our first 2 lands here. Yep. It's a pretty good draw. Do I want to Faithless Looting, or do I want to fetch Basic Swamp Thoughtseize? They only have one card I don't know. I'm gonna fetch Basic Swamp and Thoughtseize just in case they drew another creature. This also lets me play Dark Confidant out next turn, which is kind of appealing. Mother of Runes into play. That's unfortunate for us. Maybe I'm just supposed to hold that in my hand to bend to the Faithless Looting there instead of hoping that they drew a spell. Yeah, that's actually the brand this is. Inker. I'm pretty sure it's Inker. It's probably worth the upside there. I don't know. With Dark Confidant coming into play, our health total is going to be a little bit under pressure. I think it's silly that Ancient Stirrings is legal, but Ponder and Preordained are banned. So I would like the nice blue cantrips back, potentially. Or get rid of the green one that's overpowered. Either or. I think Ancient Stirrings is the more powerful card than Ponder and Preordain. It's less flexible, but it's certainly more powerful. So, the reason why I dislike the argument that Ancient Stirrings is fine because it has a requirement to it, well, that worked out for us, kinda. Do I just bolt this now since they gave us the option to? Nah, I'm just gonna play Dark Confidant. I want to use both my lands this turn. They're gonna Wasteland the Grove next turn anyways. The reason why I dislike the argument, Ancient Stirrings has a deck building requirement, so it's fine. Jacob Jeffrey. Jacob, quiet mouth, buddy. We need to stop screaming. They drew Swords to Plowshares as their one fucking card. Well, you know. When you run good, you run good. So the reason why I dislike the argument that Ancient Stirrings has a deck building requirement, so it's fine, is that none of the Chester Stoneforge Mystic, all right, you know, the old Thoughtseize. None of the decks that play Ancient Stirrings have changed their deck in any way, shape, or form to make Ancient Stirrings the card that they're able to play. Like, if those decks made conscious decisions to play or not play cards in order to allow them to play Ancient Stirrings, that would be one thing. But those decks don't do that. They don't make conscious decisions in order to be able to play that card. They just want to be running all colorless cards anyways, so Ancient Stirrings is just this huge power level increase for them at no real cost. I don't think the colorless Eldrazi deck is very good. I think a lot of its power level came from the fact that it was very good against Miracles, and Miracles really isn't a very good deck anymore. The deck's got a large amount of variance in it because all the Ancient Tomb Chalice decks rely pretty heavily on their opening hand, don't have any card advantage or selection, so their consistency compared to a lot of the other decks in Legacy that are considered good is much lower. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. They're playing Ancient Stirrings because they get to anyways. They're not saying, "Oh, I need to change my deck to play Ancient Stirrings." Miracles as a deck is still fine in Legacy. It's just not popular like it was when Top was banned, when Top was a thing. It's starting to pick up some popularity in paper again. There were a few of them on feature matches at the last team event, but it's definitely not anywhere near as popular as it be. I think it's kind of funny that people talk about Treasure Cruise and say Treasure Cruise was too good because you could splash it into everything, but like all of the best decks in, like, I mean, Thoughtseize is pretty terrible because we, like that last game we just saw, it's just a non-card. I just want cards that play to the board. This is basically a Jundmere. So, like, what card that's already in my deck is Thoughtseize better than JMP? So, like, I agree that it's like an okay card, but I think all of my cards that play to the board are better options than Thoughtseize. The Metalworker decks are just another Chalice deck, just pretty inconsistent. When they do their thing, they look powerful, but a lot of the time they don't do their thing, and some of the time when they do their thing, they get Force of Will or Kolaghan's Commanded out of the game. Well, I mean, the deck is definitely less powerful than when it had Sensei's Divining Top 2. It's certainly a tier 1 deck still, like, from, like, results standpoint, and feels strong, but it's weaker than when it had Sensei's Divining Top to the point where everyone was playing it because it was just busted in half. Are you seeing Sunny Depths today? No, I don't think so. If we play more Legacy after this, I'm not sure that we are. We're going to do the Nick Fit deck and then maybe the Magus of the Will deck. But I don't know. We've already gotten ghosted once this league. I'm not sure if I want to do that again. There's just so much ghosting when you play Legacy. Sounds pretty good. I'm going to fetch Badlands on one here since I have Faithless Looting anyways. I'm going to fetch Bayou on one since I have Faithless Looting. So Treasure Cruise, people argue that Treasure Cruise is too good because it's a card that can be splashed, but like Modern is full of powerful cards that people splash in their decks because they're single colors. Like no one talks about banning Tarmogoyf or Path to Exile or Lightning Bolt or Fatal Push, just like mono cards that are powerful and see play in the format because they're splashable. All right, so this is a kind of interesting decision. I think I just want to take their Aether Vial here. Yeah, I think I just want to take their Aether Vial here. The Rest in Peace is kind of annoying, but I've got an Abrupt Decay for that down the line here. Port on one, sure. Go ahead and fetch a Badlands here and then play this Dark Confidant. Yeah, they also don't have a white source yet for the Rip, which is nice for us. They could go Cavern Thalia here, and then hopefully rip a land and get to Punishing Fire them. Hey, Crazy Who Kill, the brand new $4.99 month subscription. Thank you very much and welcome. I do appreciate that, as always. Subs are the best way you can support my content here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Stoneforge Mystics, that one's gonna get to die right away. Batterskull, they don't actually have white mana for it yet, but I don't think I want to risk that one getting into play, so let's just kill this now. Jacob Jeffrey, do you need help? Bring your tablet here and I'll help you. Jacob, bring it here. They drew the white source. I wonder if they're gonna jam the Rest in Peace just because I already have the. Oh, they have another Stoneforge Mystic. Okay, sure. You need help? Here you go. Here you go. They have Rest in Peace, Thalia, Revoker, Batterskull, and then one card we don't know, and they're gonna add another equipment here. Jacob. Gotta use your words, bud. You watch Transformers? Okay. If we brick on a land here, I can looting into another one potentially. That's the perfect land. To go ahead and do this, and then Punishing Fire that down. This does give them a window to play Rest in Peace next turn, but if they're playing Rest in Peace next turn, then they're not they're not adding to the board, which is good for us, so that I can play the Rabblemaster and start beating them down. The fact that Rabblemaster doesn't die to Rip is really nice. Yep. They really can't wait on this now that I've assembled my Grove combo. They get to play Thalia 2 here. That's pretty good for them. So they have Thalia, they have Phyrexian Revoker, Batterskull, Sword of Fire and Ice. Your Faithless Looting and a Deathrite Shaman. What do I want to do here? Leaving the Thalia in play is kind of appealing from a make their swords and their Batterskulls much worse standpoint. If I don't kill her this turn, they get to protect her with the Karakas, though, which is kind of obnoxious for us. I could just kill the rest in peace here. Yeah, I'll have my analysis posted on the Pro Tour metagame at gatheringmagic.com later this week. The problem with killing the Thalia is that if they rip a land, they just get to slam the Batterskull. It also means the Rest in Peace has to stay on the table. If I had a different removal spell to kill the Thalia, I think I'd snap killing the Thalia, but the fact that it's this Abrupt Decay kind of makes me want to wait. I'm not actually sure. We're gonna start getting ported. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, we're probably supposed to kill the Thalia and just hope to kill them through the Rest in Peace with these Goblin Rabblemasters. These Faithless Lootings like provide some selection at least for us moving forward, and they're far less awkward if they don't have a Thalia on the table. So you have Batterskull, Revoker, Sword, and then two cards I don't know now. We do have Bob to propel us into more stuff, that's true. Jacob, calm down, buddy. It's okay. It's okay. If we don't kill Thalia now, we could just, like, play through it, potentially. The fact that Karakas is there, like, incentivizes us to burn it on the Thalia. Recruiter the Guard, okay. What are we getting here? Another Thalia, maybe? If they go land second Thalia, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. Hey, Wraith Mouse, love the content. Enjoy more fun money. Keep it up. Thanks for sending your Amazon dollars this way. And this month, Wraithmorn, 5 months. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Appreciate the continued support. It could be a Mother of Runes. Yep. A lot of things they could get here. Thinking about speculating on modern bans is kind of silly because Wizards of the Coast isn't very consistent in the way with which they apply their ban list in modern, so I think it's kind of a fool's errand to try and do that. Okay, that's okay for us. Do I want to play Faithless Looting here? I want to play Faithless Looting. These Deathrite Shamans aren't doing a whole lot. More Rabblemasters, huh? Well, I think that's just the plan, right? I'm gonna bin this. Bin this. Jam some Rabbles down their throat. Hope for the best. These cards hit pretty hard and fast here. We do have a pretty good poker hand, not gonna lie. Golgari Charm would be a pretty okay draw here. We really want to dodge a land here because they go land Batterskull. Yep. Really want to dodge X. X happens. So now we want to hit our Kolaghan's command, ideally, so we can shut this Batterskull off. Should I play Belcher or Burn? Ooh. Okay, that's interesting. So they can... use Mother of Runes to force through this Recruiter of the Guard. It's aggressive, but it could work. Alright, I'm gonna block here, right? I think I want to block. Dies anyways if I don't, right? And then they get to draw a card. So looking for an Abrupt Decay at this point. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, let's just play another Rabblemaster, and then we can decay this sword instead of combat next turn. And we do play 4 of them, right? So we're attacking for 8 here, I believe. I'm aware that they have Batterskull. I mean, like, does them having Batterskull change my line here? I always find those comments kind of silly. Like, remember they have X. It's like, well, does knowing they have X change my play? Because, like, I'm aware they have X. It's on my little screen here, but, like, what you're telling me to remember doesn't, like, have an impact on the game at all, right? Maybe I'm supposed to just kill Mom there. I don't know. I feel like I need to kill this sword. Yeah, the Rabblemasters have kind of just, like, punched the clock and gone to work. I'm glad I decided to try them instead of Tarmogoyf. That, I assume we're going to see a Batterskull commit here. My Rabblemaster gets to eat this Recruiter of the Guard, which is nice. We are not playing Maelstrom Pulse. I have 1 copy of Kolaghan's Command, though. I also have another Abrupt Decay we could draw, because, like, they're probably going to try and save their Batterskull Germ with Mother of Runes, and then we can decay it in response. Also get to potentially Faithless Looting into some stuff next turn, which feels good. They have Batterskull, Revoker, Flicker Wisp, and then 1 card we don't know at this point. So I assume this is just like Windmill Batterskull, right? Yeah, you just need the health. Start with looting, see what we get. And ditch this Inquisition. Or sorry, ditch this Deathrite. Do I want to ditch the Inquisition? We know their last 2 cards are Flicker Wisp for Phyrexian Revoker. So holding the Inquisition might be valuable because it lets me take the Flicker Wisp out of their hand, because they might trade the Batterskull Germ, assuming they can Flicker Wisp the Batterskull next turn, and then we can mess that up. So I think I want to ditch Sylvan Library here, because I feel like this game's going to be over before that card can be relevant, and Lingering Souls being a different color to block could be. I could bin both Shamans. Yeah, I guess I could see that being correct. Let's get rid of them. They don't really do much. I'm going to play this other Rabblemaster out. Then we'll make 6 tokens. Each of these attack for 8, and they gain 4. I think this is fine. Don't even have to click on them. These attack for 9, actually? Oh, because they trigger on each other, right? They count each other? Okay. They actually need to block both the Rabblемasters here, right? Yeah, they have to block both the Rabblемasters or they're dead. This card is really good. We'll see if they save Mom or save the Germ here. Receiving the germ. Okay, interesting. They're gonna go down to 9. Take your Flicker Wisp away, leave you with Phyrexian Invoker. That's the turn. So we're gonna go to the 13th here, 13 here. We'll have 2 blockers next turn. We're gonna get 8 more Goblin tokens. Phyrexian Invoker. You've no idea. Just something Magic Online does. Some kind of question mark or some hook maybe type thing. You know, port me off of something. That's kind of a beating. All against command. Lightning Bolt. Does that potentially deal lethal? That might let me deal lethal here, depending on how they block. They try and get greedy and block a token instead of blocking an actual Rabblemaster. So these Rabblmasters are attacking us, what, like 11s? Do they have a plow? Did they mess up? Yeah, opponent punted here. Or maybe they wanted to make me attack with both Rabblmasters. Yeah, I guess it's fair if they wanted to make me attack with both Rabblmasters. Yeah, now we kill the Revoker. They drew that. We'll go to 11. They're obligated to block the Rabblemaster, I think, because he's 10. So if they block a token, yeah, so they have to trade with the Rabblemaster, and then I get to play Sylvan Library, and they have no cards in hand, and they just have a Batterskull in play. And we still have 8 Goblin tokens. Sylvan Library, I'm really glad we kept that. Didn't think the game was going to get to a point where that was going to be relevant. Yep. Okay, well, they're not dead yet, but they're not in a great spot. They can double port me here. Oh, put on top. Put on top. Other tip of my Scrubland. Maybe I should have kept the Liliana. Doesn't really matter. Take this rest in peace off the table. No, Charm only kills enchantments. That card would be nuts if it had Naturalize on it. Hey, Anaronics, thanks for the bit. Welcome. They're actually just going to be dead on board, right? Because they can block 1 and go to 6, and then they take 7. So they're actually just dead on board through these Goblin tokens. Like, we get to Liliana the Germ, yeah, but like, they're dead through that, right? Yeah. Sweet. Alright, good. Alright, they're the third. Right, this was. God, we've played so much Death and Taxes that, like, they're blurring. That was game 2. Right, that was game 2. Submit. Right. Yeah, we got Cataclysmed against the first time we played it today. Yeah, Rabblemaster's kind of like punched the clock and just like gone to work. When discussions for raises come up, Rabblemaster is going to be firmly in the topic. Coffee's for closers, and he's getting him a cup of joe. I love this artwork too on this promo, just like all the Rabblemasters behind him. Oh yeah, 2 Rabblemasters just like punch it and close almost instantly. The Faithless Lootings have felt reasonable. Like, even in these games where, like, we've been rest in peace, they're just like, well, this is still fine. I want to see 2 more cards. Yeah, it seems pretty good. It's a touch slow, but not the worst. Sad day. Lightning Bolt. Oh, alright. I'm gonna lead on this so he can't get Porter wasted on turn 2 here. They play a Thalia here, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. Yeah, I played a lot of turn 2 Rabblемasters in Standard. Oh, I didn't. I suck in Ironics. The dimensions are 1100 by 150. I can, if you message me, I'll message you that later. The dimensions are 1100 by 150. For resolution. Faithless Looting. I'm getting Wastelanded regardless, right? Am I supposed to looting here? I think I'm just gonna looting since I have this Punishing Fire in my hand already. Yeah, Anoronics bought a Bannerhead. It's pretty good. Ditch these 2. Play this Grove past the turn. So I can get my fire back when they wasteland me. And then I can flashback Lingering Souls next turn. And then potentially have Kolaghan's Commander Liliana the following turn. Port's pretty good. Rest in Peace is also pretty good. Get to Abrupt Decay, the Rip at least here, which feels nice. Wow, that's greedy. Holy crap. Deal. Huh. They just have another Wasteland? They're just like counting on this never dying? Pass the turn, I suppose? I think because I have this fire, I don't like Decay Vial, Bob. I think I just want to take them off the Rest in Peace. Uma, Zawa's, Ijite, sure. Yeah, they do get to get ahead. It's really nice that my opponent's spending their mana here instead of, Okay, so I'm gonna Abrupt Decay in response to this, because this could be it's likely putting a Thalia into play. Can you get a bowl? Interesting. I guess it's not interesting, because they would have had to pay 1 more for GT. But this is like 10 out of 10 Thalia, right? Alright, so I get to play this, and then pass the turn. They get to equip to the Thalia, which kinda sucks for us. I want them to not draw a land here so they can't port me. Yeah, this is fine. They have a Flicker Wisp, we could get into trouble here, but if they don't have a Flicker Wisp, we might actually be able to get out of this. So I'm going to Punishing Fire the Thalia here. And hopefully they just don't have a thing, they don't have a Flicker Wisp here. And then they'll Mother of Runes here, and then we can Shatter the Umezawa's Jite, shock the Mother of Runes. Yeah, Golgari Charm would be a pretty reasonable draw too. We definitely have 2 of those in our deck. So we take 2 here. And then, assuming they don't have some kind of shenanigans, we get to Shatter the Jite, shock the Mother of Runes. Get most of that cleaned up. They have a Flicker Wisp. We're just like gonna weep silently, but this is definitely our line. Destroy an artifact, shock you. Jite only powers up the creature it's equipped to, which I know is confusing because it can give minus counters to anything, but it can only power up the creature it's equipped to. Triggering by Punishing Fire for me? No. Okay. Alright. They didn't have a 3-drop either, so that, like, everything worked out better than expected there, right? It's a pretty common mistake, just because of how the card's templated, so not uncommon at all for people to think what you thought. The fact that they pushed the Vial to 3 without a 3-drop is kind of surprising, since they have Karakas and Thalia here. I think that's probably a small mistake on their part. They grab here. They get a sword, I probably need to Inquisition them, yeah. So it's like Inquisition plus Dark Confidant next turn. I suppose I could Faithless Looting, but that doesn't seem particularly exciting. I think I just want to get some lands. Dark Confidant lets me get to some lands here. Thalia, Path to Exile. Alright, so I'm going to take that out of their hand. They have another Thalia. If Bob eats a Path, am I okay with that? Yeah, I have another basic Swamp in my deck, so that seems fine for me. More mana lets me work around the Thalia a little bit better. Makes them spend their 2 mana next turn. Jeez, I can't believe they pushed their Vial to 3. I wonder if they did that by mistake. Seems like a pretty big punt. We'd be in a much worse spot here if our opponent's Vial was on 2. Much worse spot. No walks. 2, 12. Another Stoneforge, okay. That's kind of scary. Get to get Batterskull going here. What you got, Bob? Bob flipped over a Deathrite Shaman. That's decent. So I could play Deathrite plus Liliana the Veil here. They flipped Batterskull into play. I'm a little bit sad. But I really don't have any better lines, do I? Hey, Blizzmeeks, the brand new Twitch Prime support. Thank you very much and welcome. I really appreciate that. So I think we're definitely playing the Deathrite Shaman this turn. The question is, what do I want to do in addition to that Deathrite Shaman? Pick up my Punishing Fire and recast it is also an option. I'm not a huge fan of discarding my looting. I kind of like playing the Deathrite Shaman and then Punishing Firing their Thalia, because then my mana's not going to be taxed next turn, which is kind of nice. I think I like that line. Just gonna grab my Scrubland here. I have 1 more Lingering Souls in my deck. Maybe I'm supposed to grab another Bayou. I have 2 of each. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Yeah, I think Karakas is fine. I'm going to Punishing Fire it on their turn, so their Karakas is tapped. And then if they want to put the Batterskull into play, they can't redeploy the Thalia. So, like, card advantage isn't the issue here. So, like, spending this Punishing Fire to put the Thalia back in their hand seems like a worthwhile exchange for me. Just so I can, like, be able to leverage kind of a mana advantage next turn. Like, the axis we're losing this game on is them having more mana than we are, not on more cards. So my goal here is to kind of try and choke. Sure, they do, and they can also Karakas this Thalia back to their hand. But I think, again, like, playing the, like, the second Thalia in their hand is another reason why the Liliana, like, really doesn't have a meaningful impact, right? There's a deck list on the screen. If you're on mobile, you can type !deck and get a direct link. Their hand is second Thalia, Path to Exile, Batterskull here, and they're kind of choked on land, so I want to just let it die. Okay, sure. Did they draw a land maybe, or just gonna go cast Thalia plus activate Batterskull? Sure, that's fine. Oh, this lets them path plus put in Batterskull, but I think that's okay with us, right? I think that's okay with us. You get to pop this Punishing Fire back into my hand. I think I get to put this Punishing Fire back in my hand and then cast this Faithless Looting. I should have fetched Badlands there and take out another red. Get to discard these two. I'm gonna put this Grove into play. Cast this Liliana. I think I'm just gonna Edict them with this, actually. So I need to work through these Stoneforge Mystics eventually, right? So that seems fine. I'm probably gonna be Abrupt Decaying the Germ this turn. The problem with the MTG bot command is that it then looks for it as a magic card. If you type !deck, it says can't find magic card deck. Yeah, so just leave it. It's fine. It's fine doing both. They have a 3-drop 2. That's kind of scary. This is like a Mirian Crusader. We could be in a lot of trouble. I don't think we care about that one. I guess this could get a Mirian Crusader. Oh, this could get Sanctum Prelate and put it on 2. That would be kind of scary. Sanctum Prelate on 2 would be pretty annoying for us. Until we find a Lightning Bolt. Flicker Wisp. Do I want a Decay Vial? Like, what does Decaying Vial do for me? I think I want the Liliana in place still. Although I guess Vial, like, makes their Flicker Wisp super awkward. Yeah, I like that. I like that, actually, now that they've gotten the Flicker Wisp. Now that they've gotten the Flicker Wisp, let's just get rid of this. And then if they want to get rid of the Liliana, they have to send the Batterskull into it next turn. So they have Thalia, Flicker Wisp, and then one card we don't know in their hand right now. We have one Punishing Fire in our graveyard. We also have a Faithless Looting in there that we get to use at some point. I assume my Liliana is going to eat it here. Oh, really? They're just attacking me. Deal. Okay. Okay, so I forgot about this. And almost auto pass through this. I have to make mana before this trigger happens. Float red, they gained life from the Batterskull. So let's return my Punishing Fire to my hand. So I don't have to tap my Grove for it next turn. Yes, please. I would like that back. We're gonna flick the Recruiter here, I assume. Yep. Really like a Golgari Charm here. We could Punishing Fire down the Germ. They're getting another Flicker Wisp here, so Golgari Charm would be the nut. Land. Do I want to just flashback Faithless Looting? I feel like I want to just flashback Faithless Looting and see where we get from there. Wasteland and Rabblemaster. Well, Wasteland is pretty good, right? I can waste them off of their Caracas at this point. I have to be careful to not die to what's going on board. Spinning these two. Punishing fire 3 times instead of looting. Maybe? I don't think so. I think I just want to wasteland them. Travel masters suck. Oh, you know, I should have plus the Liliana before wastelanding them if I was going to wasteland them. Yeah, I probably should have done this first. Alright, so they have Flicker Wish plus 1 card I don't know. Pass the turn here. The fact that I fetched this instead of the second Badlands has really been biting us this game. That was a pretty big mistake. Please don't have drawn removal. Please don't have drawn removal. This is game 3. Thalia. So remember, our Deathrite Shaman gains us health here because he really does it all. So we get to gain 2 with Deathrite plus return the Punishing Fire to our hand. Liliana can Edict something next turn, so I assume we're just taking 4 off the Germ. They could, like, trade the Recruiter of the Guard for plus 1 point of damage, but that doesn't seem particularly appealing. They could potentially send into the Liliana, since the Liliana is going to get to Edict them off of a creature next turn. They're at 33, but like if we win this game, we're probably going to be able to close it out by a pretty significant margin. They haven't drawn many lands. They're due for a little bit of flood at some point here. See what they want to do here. They're also down to 3.5 minutes to our 8, so like they could both of these attacking Lily. That seems fine. Fine for me. Yep, Lily. Gonna do this to get my F6 value in. That land's actually an okay draw, right? Because it lets me Punishing Fire an extra time. Kill this. Get my Badlands. Did I discard my other Badlands? Was it Wastelanded? Oh, it got Wastelanded. Oh, so I did mess up Jacob. Jacob, you need to calm down, bud. You need to calm down, bud. Okay, huh. Alright, well that fetch was probably a mistake then. Huh. That fetch was probably a mistake. Jacob, I know SpongeBob is very exciting, but we need to calm down. Thank you. I love you. Local kid really feeling it. So they have another Flicker Wisp in their hand that we're aware of here. Playing that land out when it wasn't meaningful is actually a pretty big deal, because we could draw Faithless Looting here that we'd want to pull back into our hand. I still act that way when I watch SpongeBob. We said they were due for a land. I was kind of hoping they'd draw a colorless land, though. So they couldn't cast the Flicker Wisp. Really, no plays. We're planning to port me, then? Is that what we're doing? I'm just gonna go ahead and Punishing Fire one of my opponent's creatures here. I know they get to gain a life when I do this, but I think it's fine. I'm taking that one out of the way as opposed to the Stoneforge Mystic because they have a Flicker Wisp in their hand that I'm aware of. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this Punishing Fire back to my hand here, and then kill the Stoneforge Mystic in response to this. It's like, give them the least amount of value out of their port. I guess I could... God, that was a good fucking draw. That... It's a pretty good draw, chat! Not gonna lie. That was a pretty good draw. Pretty good. I just want everyone to soak that one in here real quick. Want some more goldfish? Alright, alright. It's like a D plus draw there. I'm just gonna chump block here, right? Because I can double Punishing Fire this next turn. Where's off Pontiff incoming? I'm gonna flick one of my tokens. Start with this? Yeah, I think so. I think I have to probably kill this anyways. Yeah, there's a pretty good chance we kill them on clock. I think the win condition is timeout at this point. We have 2 Goblin Rabble-masters left in our deck, but timeout is probably going to be a reasonable win condition at this point. That's unfortunate for us. Alright, so what am I killing here? It's probably just the Flicker Wisp, right? A good top deck deserves another, right? So... And then I just have to eat... Nope, that's not what I want. I want to eat a creature to gain some health. That's unfortunate. You could lose this game now. I need another live one at this point. I think I'm just going to take this hit. I want to be able to double block plus Punishing Fire next turn. Liliana. Because I'm thinking on a clock and I'm playing kind of quickly, there's a lot of lines. Well, the problem with the Wisp is that if they draw a 5th land, they get to equip the Batterskull to it, and then the Wisp very much can attack. Golgari Charm doesn't kill the Germ. For those that are unfamiliar with what Golgari Charm does. Oh, for getting Rest in Peace off the table, though. Yeah, that's true. Do I want to chump here, or do I want to kill it with Punishing Fire? I think I want to kill it with Punishing Fire. If we draw another punish... Yeah, I think if we draw Golgari Charm... It just, like, sucks so much if they draw land here. I think I'm just gonna double, and then... Just gonna double, and then Punishing Fire it. Hope they didn't draw land here. Well, if they didn't draw land, that means they drew a spell, so I'm hoping they drew, like, Aether Vials. Play my square. I think I'm just passing here at this point. I'm pretty sure we're on the timeout victory plan. Just like... Pretty sure we're just on the timeout plan at this point. Hopefully they didn't draw 2-drop and then draw a land, then equip this Batter Skull. Yeah, they're just bouncing that, sure. They drew a Batter Skull. Liliana, please. Liliana, please. Liliana, please. What am I doing with this Golgari Charm, chat? Is it regen? I think you're right that it's regen. $65. All right, 10 seconds, chat. Are we gonna get him? I think we're gonna get him on the clock. I think the double block regen for the clock is gonna... Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Yeah, okay. Okay, come on. Come on. Come on, give it to me. Woo! Magic online. I don't think we would have won that in a tournament, but it feels good to get him that way. Just time him out. That rest in peace was really... Oh, we were gonna hit... I don't think the Liliana would have beat Gideon, but we definitely earned that one. All right, so we're 2-1, kind of. If that was a paper tournament, it probably would have been 2-0-1 with Jund at this point, which is technically undefeated, right? It's technically undefeated. Timing out nerds in chat, timing out nerds on Magic Online. They call it undefeated at the Pro Tour. That's true. That's true. The Rabblmasters have been really impressive. The Faithless Lootings have felt pretty good, right? They're doing exactly what I want them to do. They're giving us some card selection advantage. We've played against 2 Rest in Peace decks so far, so we haven't really gotten to fully leverage them, but I'm curious to see like how they line up against a deck that's a fair deck that's not a Rest in Peace deck. Thanks everyone for hanging out here today, battling some Legacy. We're gonna play another, maybe a Nick Fit League after this. And someone submit a Jurassic Park themed Nick Fit deck list. Got a bunch of really giant planeswalkers. We get to play Cavern of Souls naming Dinosaur for the value. Gideon, ally of Gideon. No qualms about playing for the timeout. I mean, my opponent could play faster. My opponent could play faster. Opponent even more. And I'm playing with a handicap. I'm playing with a vertical mouse for the first time today, so I'm slower than I usually am using this thing while I get a feel for it. I think this is a keep. I think this is a keep. Jacob. Cunning Wish for Punishing Fire. That's deep. And the added handicap. That's true. That's true. Jake is here too. Carnage Tyrant greater than Sigarda. Yeah, we don't have any fetch lands for Deathrite Shaman, but we are gonna have some fun stuff for them here. Alright, could be fair, could be unfair. If they're an unfair deck, this hand's pretty mediocre. We're gonna want to draw a Black Source on one if it's an unfair deck. Yeah, so when you use it, it's supposed to be more ergonomic for your hand. Your hand goes sideways around it as opposed to over the top. Black Source, tilt. Alright, well, they don't have a land, or if they do, they only have one non-basic and they just don't want to get it wastelanded. Abrupt Decay is a pretty good draw since they ran the pedal out here. We could die here. Like, with Lotus Petal decks against what we have going on right now is definitely pretty bad for us, which is one of the dangers of playing a fair mid-range deck like what we are, is that, you know, these decks aren't great against these decks because you have these hands just like I have Punishing Fires and Abrupt Decays, and they're not good in this matchup. Thankfully, post-sideboard, we get to bring in a lot of cards. Oh, we're getting Belchered. Oh, never mind. We're just like stone dead, can never win the game. Alright. Get belched. Got it. Got it. Get belched. Well, we're certainly wastelanding them, right? Certainly wastelanding our Belcher opponent. I actually don't have a way in our main deck to take that off the table. 2 copies of Burning Wish. Alright, well, hopefully we draw Goblin Rabblemaster next turn and could potentially race them. That being said, I'm sure they're going to rip an LED and kill us here. Why do I say shit like that? Why do I open my mouth and let the words fall out of it? Why do I open my mouth and let the words fall out of it? Just make sure they're not doing anything weird. Nope, pretty stock. Burning Wish, Belcher. Alright, so we have tools for this matchup. You could argue we have tools in our sideboard. Certainly not a winnable matchup by most stretches of the imagination, though. So these all come out. These probably all come out. I guess that means Liliana's staying in. These surgical extractions don't really do much. I guess Punishing Fire is reach. Aram Vox with the brand new 4.99 a month subscription. Thank you very much and welcome back. I do appreciate, or welcome. I appreciate that next level of support. Subs are always the best way you can support my content here. I think Bolt is better than these other cards, just because Bolt can close the game a turn sooner. But yeah, the actual answer is that like most of them are bad. Yes, have to mulligan this hand. It's like need turn 1 discard. And this is, you know, if you're choosing to play Legacy, this is just the life you lead sometimes. You can't, you don't put Force in your deck, we have only ourselves to blame. Do I want this Verdant Catacombs? Yeah, I think so. I think I just want to go discard into Liliana into discard. Hey, Skip Dash! The 3-month resubscription. Quarter V, welcome back. Thank you. Sending your Amazon fund money this way again this month. I appreciate the continued support. What does your hand do? It only has 1 win condition in it, so let's take that one away. Go. This 5 is okay. It would be better if this was a Goblin Rabblemaster, so we had a way to kill them after we discard them a couple of times. I'm gonna give you a timeout so you can take the time to go read what Abrupt Decay does. Just, you know, read Abrupt Decay and then think about what you said. I probably just want to take a starter here, right? Although they just have all the mana to do anything, so I just want to take a card that casts a spell. Yeah, it really doesn't matter. We're dead to them drawing any win condition here. I'm not going to crack this fetch because I don't know what color I want to get. I probably want to get a Scrubland. Yay! We did it, chat. This is why we have Hate Bear Splash in our sideboard. My Kithkin advisor would like to recommend that you don't kill me anymore. He strongly suggests against killing me. Advises against it. Yeah! Alright, let's go. Teaglesworth into Rabblemaster. Fire it up. Fire it up. Beep beep popping our goblin-shaped Jeep. They can theoretically beat Teeg, but the reality is that it costs them so many resources to beat him. Generally, they're not going to win the game afterwards. That's usually the reality of it, at least having played on the Belcher side of it before. There's like dead next turn, right? This is a smash for 8. God, Rabblemaster closes quickly. You're speaking in tongues, child. I know you know some English. Can we work on the English? Yeah, Wish for Klasm would be pretty devastating. Maybe that's a reason to hold the second Teeg rather than push the Liliana. Yeah, maybe that's a reason to do that. Yeah, I could see that being the case. Do I want to bring in the surgicals on the draw just as like this is my this is my only free card that can interact with you? These bolts in these Sylvan Libraries are pretty bad. Alright, I'm gonna put surgical in. I think I need to check on Declan unless my wife can do it. So at this point, we just hope that our opponent goes off with goblins and we have Golgari Charm, or that they mulligan a little bit. This is literally the best hand we could ask for, sans a Golgari Charm, so we're going to keep it and just like hope they mulligan and don't go off on one. But it's pretty unlikely. To record the ramblings and sell them as a religious experience. Only kept 7. They tanked, so maybe it's not good. Well, this will tell me if my surgical can do anything. Okay, that's a Tinderwall. They get to crack this. They get to Rite of Flame. They're going to have to put Belcher into play this turn. Okay. Right? So they get to cast this. They have Belcher. They don't have another way to put this Tinderwall into play just yet, so I can just wait here. And then the Surgical is actually going to have a text box because it gets to take this other Tinderwall out of their hand next turn. And then maybe the Thalia can bridge us into winning the game. Another Surgical Extraction. So I kind of want to take the Rite of Flame out of their deck, right? So I'm going to play this land. Does... What's the word I'm searching for? Does Duressing the other Goblin Charbelcher out of their hand accomplish anything? It doesn't, right? They can't pitch an artifact to Chrome Mox. I don't think it matters. Right? There's no reason to duress them right now, I don't think. So we're going to Surgical during their draw step, so that way, if they draw another Tinderwall, we get both of them out of their hand. I should have paid mana there, whatever. They drew a Burning Wish that they can't cast. That's good for us. This one, get that one. Did they board in anything that can kill my creatures? They did not, but they have Burning Wish. But Thalia is going to make their... I'm going to wait on taking the Rite in Flame, I think. Just because they could draw them later. Yeah, they could draw them later. And like... Nah, I guess I should probably just take them now, right? Because like they're kind of scary. It's one of their cheaper rituals. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that. Yeah, because I'm gonna play. Well, I'm gonna play the Thalia next turn, so the Rite's not dead next turn. So I'm gonna cast this Thalia. But definitely see the appeal of doing it now. Yeah, Thalia makes it harder to Surgical. Liliana's a reason to Duress, which is interesting. So we're dead to Lion's Eye Diamond, but other than that, we could be in an okay spot here, potentially. Golgari Charm, not particularly useful right now. I'm gonna go and attack with Thalia. I think I just want to play Dark Confidant, because we really just want, like, Wastelands or our Kolaghan's Command. I could Duress here, but I think I'd rather just play Confidant. Alright, I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna go get a red source, then go get a green source. I think I'd rather Faithless Looting plus Duress this turn, rather than do something else. We could also like Gaddock Teeg here for like the full locks. Another Dark Confidant. I think I just don't want Golgari Charm at this point, right? They're not going off with goblins. The question is, am I supposed to play this other Dark Confidant out, or am I supposed to Duress them? I'm probably supposed to Duress them, right? They don't run Dryad Arbor. That's only Spanish Inquisition. I think I just wanna... Nah, I'm gonna Dark Confidant them, I think. I just wanna, like, hit another lock piece, or a Kolaghan's Command, or a Wasteland. Because, like, playing the discard spell doesn't play around, like, it doesn't play around LED off the top, which is, like, what they're waiting on at this point. But we're hoping to dodge that. Sweet. Rabblemaster's decent. There's Teaglesworth. Alright. Manamorphos, Belchers, Burning Wishes. I just take their one that lets them draw a card, right? And then Teeg puts them dead on board next turn, so we just gotta fade. We just gotta fade a LED for one turn here. Opponent making sure our bobs don't kill us. Alright, we're 4-0 with Faithless Juns. Might be starting to believe in Faithless Juns. Might be starting to believe in Faithless Juns. Bears were real good. I do love me some Hateful Bears. The discard plus Hateful Bears is Dees. Looting confirmed better than Brainstorm. The 4-1 dream is alive and well. Ain't that the truth? Almost certainly not better than Grixis Delver. The real story here has just been like, play some Goblin Rabblemasters, right? Play some Goblin Rabblemasters. That card's kind of sweet. Yeah, I think a Null Rod's fine. It like doubles as Stoneforge Mystic Hate and Storm Hate / Belcher Hate. I don't hate that. It's actually a card I considered. I just threw in another Surgical instead because I think Reanimator's kind of scary. Alright. The deck plays no Howland one. Oh yeah, if we pair into lands, I'm just gonna concede and go on to the next deck. There's no way we beat lands. 0%. I think Rabblemaster is good in Modern. I actually think Rabblemaster is worse in Modern than it is in Legacy because there's more creature removal in Modern because the format's more creature-based. It's very good. I think we just go Bayou Deathrite on one, right? Yeah, Deathrite, Vial. It like turns off all their equipment. It turns off Aether Vial. Grixis Delver. Yeah, if they're playing Grixis Delver, I definitely want a Deathrite on one. Allurin, huh? Alright, well I'm taking this Abrupt Decay so they can't kill my Rabblemaster. Although I guess they could force my Rabblemaster. Nah, if they want to force my Rabblemaster, I'm probably okay with that. Yeah, I'm gonna get my chip in for one. If they draw exactly Deathrite Shaman, I'm gonna be sad that I attacked here, but I think it's worth getting in my one hitter there. Badlands here. Exile that. Would not be surprised if they force this. Gonna kill them very quickly. Wow. Okay, sure. Maybe they just want to cast the Baleful Strix, so this bolt will be good. And coffee's for closers, and Rabblemaster's getting him a cup of joe. That's kind of annoying. If Tarmogoyf in their Allurin deck. Alright, so this is a sweet line. We get to go ahead and Lightning Bolt this Tarmogoyf, and then I get to eat the Inquisition in my graveyard to make it a 2/3. So I'm waiting to eat with my Deathrite Shaman, because if they force this, I don't necessarily want to eat with the Deathrite Shaman. They did force this. Okay. And now that they forced that, I just get to go ahead and attack with these goblins. They force pitching Baleful Strix here. Shardless Agents. They still have a Baleful Strix in their hand. That's interesting. So they have Baleful Strix, Allurin. I just want to play Dark Confidant out then. I'm going to go ahead and move to combat here. Do I want to offer this trade? I don't think I do. I think I have a good chance to draw removal here. I think I'd rather play Dark Confidant than spend my turn bolting this, just because it's more resource efficient. I think I'd rather just put the Dark Confidant into play. Once we drew that. If I didn't draw the Bob, I think we'd clear the Goyf out, but because we drew the Bob, this is fine. Here's the Baleful Strix. Hopefully rip an Abrupt Decay like a professional and just get to clean their board and smash them. Get 2 shots here. Land plus Liliana also does the trick. Thoughtseize and another Rabblemaster. Huh. What do you got? Now I'm just going to take their Brainstorm rate. Sucks that we missed on a land here. Since I drew this other Rabblemaster, do I want to offer this trade? I feel like I do. Like I do. No, it's a 5/6 now because of my thing. Nope, not a trade anymore. Don't do it. Almost miffed that up. Since we added creature and artifact there. Yeah, the problem is if I attack before, I think they just, what's the word I'm searching for? They just eat the Rabblemaster with their... So now I can offer the trade with the Goyf because I can eat the creature artifact out of the graveyard, right? It kind of sucks that I don't get to use most of my mana here, but I think this is an okay attack. Maybe I'm supposed to attack with this too. Nah, there's no way that's right. Takes 2 card types out of the bin. Makes their Goyf a 3/4. This does let them have a mana for their Deathrite Shaman next turn, but if they cast Allurin, I just get to end step Rabblemaster, which is nice. Now, if I played the Rabblemaster that turn, my Rabblemaster, this doesn't have haste, so it wouldn't have gotten to attack. If this could attack this past turn, I definitely agree that I would have played it and attacked with 2 6/2s, but that wasn't an option. Because remember, this doesn't have haste, it just creates... This doesn't give other goblins haste, it creates goblin tokens explicitly with haste, which is kind of weird. Letting them get their combo enchantment into play does give them out to potentially kill us, which is not exciting, but I think this is right. Yeah, it's templated in a really weird manner. It's a good draw. Now that my Deathrite Shaman is up, I can use it to lock their Deathrite Shaman out of making mana if they rip another Allurin. They're going to eat something in end of turn here, which kind of sucks, but it's not really the end of the world. Yeah, and they're gaining health with this. That doesn't surprise me. Yeah, I definitely agree the way Rabblemaster is templated is not fantastic. Oh god, this card is so good, it is unreasonable. I think that's my favorite part about this deck, is just like how unreasonably good Goblin Rabblemaster is at it. And also, I don't have to touch anything. When there's 2 of them in play, they just like, alright, beep beep, attack. I'm pretty sure we don't actually want to use our Deathrite to fight over their Deathrite activation here, because I just want to choke them off of mana next turn, potentially. I just want to choke them off of mana next, so they can have this activation, because I want them to be down a mana next turn. Oh, klutz. Edric, sure. One of the things I wasn't sure on about this deck that could be maybe be different is that I'm unsure if I want Red Elemental Blast or not in my sideboard. Well, now we just move to combat and attack, right? Because they have to chump block, they have to chump and then trade with these Rabblmasters. So they're attacking 4 or 7 each. Rum, 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 rum. Play my Liliana and plus it here. Alright, we're done here. Were my vroom noises okay? Just my vrooms. These are my vrooms. They are very exciting, yeah. Oh, Lily Sack would have won the game. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It was a build our own adventure book. All the paths led to victory, but you are correct that we could have gotten there sooner. This is a choke and a Sylvan Library matchup. Is this a matchup for Sir Teaglesworth? Is the question. Is this the matchup for... I was too excited and making too many vrooming noises. So I missed the lethal on the Liliana. 10 out of 10, missed the Liliana lethal. I think she's actually not good against a deck full of Baleful Strixes and crap, right? Should have Goblin Bombardment. Is this a Charm matchup? Charm can take Allurin off the table, which seems appealing. Charm can take Allurin off the table. Giving -1/-1 isn't particularly good against their deck. It kills Baleful Strix and what else? Because remember, it does kill our Dark Confidants and our Rabblmasters. I think the K command is fine, because like they're like a mid-range deck first. Recruiter gets deaded by it. They usually don't play Recruiter. They appear to be the straight Sultai version, which actually only plays 3 Allurins a lot of the time too. They're a mid-range deck second and an Allurin combo deck, or they're a mid-range deck first and Allurin combo deck second. No, it kills Dark Confidant and our Lingering Souls tokens, and it kills Rabblemaster tokens. I think I'm just gonna cut the Lilianas and bring in Choke, Sylvan Library, K command. I think that's just what I want to do. I think I want these other cards. Scene seems pretty good. Almost 2 years of memeing. Let's slay some nerds. Welcome back, Dwight. Yeah, 23-month resubscription. Thanks a lot. Welcome back. It's a long time. It's a long time. Go ahead. Inquisition on 1 here. I don't think I need to play around Wasteland out of the opponent's deck usually. Grab Bayou here. See Wasteland to be very sad. Rebel, when it enters the battlefield, if a permanent you control left, give something -3/-3. Just gonna take their Brainstorm away, I think, here. I guess it's pretty appealing to take Shardless Agent this turn, though. It's kind of appealing to take Shardless Agent. They're probably gonna play that. Although the Shardless Agent could just hit something like an Abrupt Decay this turn, which isn't particularly exciting for them. I think I'm just gonna take the Brainstorm here. There's a chance they just play Tarmogoyf anyways. And then we can Thoughtseize the Agent next turn. I think I like taking the Brainstorm. The black card in their hand is a Revolt card that gives something -3/-3. It's kind of cute. Kind of cute. Vengeful Rebel. Limited staple. There's the Verdant Catacombs. See what they do. They're just casting Tarmogoyf. That's good for us. Abrupt Decay is probably going to be pretty okay. Take your Shardless Agent. I'm just going to take their Rebel too. It kills my thing. Exactly Forest left. Past the turn. So we're taking a hit for 6 here. We're actually going to die pretty quickly, right? Ooh, if they hit something good here, we're going to be in trouble. Definitely a lot of tempo loss being on the play, or being on the draw, excuse me. Thoughtseize is costing us a little bit of health. Leovold. Unfortunate. I think we're just about dead here. I don't have a sweeper in my deck. I could Abrupt Decay this, but they just get to draw cards, so I understand that we're not dead on board, but like we don't really have draws to win this game, so I'm gonna go ahead and concede and move on to the next one. I mean, would it, like, the Goyf is a 5/6. Would it have been good? Is this choke good? Is this choke actually good? I don't know if I believe that this choke is good. I guess I have Faithless Looting to bin it when it's not good. Is it actually bad? Like, it probably takes them off 1 to 2 lands per game. I know that they didn't fetch basics. They just drew basics. They didn't fetch on turn 1, and they drew the forest. I'm on the play, I can turn 2 choke. Like, I have these Faithless Lootings. Like, is the Liliana actually better? Like, that's what it is. Like, the choke's not super high impact, but the Liliana Liliana doesn't seem a whole lot better. I guess it's probably fine. Just leave 2 of these in. Yeah, I guess that's probably fine. I think Thalia is pretty terrible here. Remember, Thalia is symmetrical, and we have a lot of non-creature spells in our own deck. We're bringing in Thalia against the matches where she's a slam dunk. We don't really want her in other places. This hand's pretty good. I get to go turn 1 Deathrite Shaman, and then turn 2 Inquisition plus Dark Confidant. It's kind of everything we want to be doing here. 1 BB Edict, yeah. It's a good start for us. It's pretty good. Man, wish I had a choke. Wish this was a choke. Wish this was a choke. I think the Jund archetype in general is very reasonable in Legacy. I don't know if this configuration is good, but some combination of these cards that we're playing is very good. Well, should brainstorm. Get rid of that one there. Play this Dark Confidant. Grab Bayou. Alright, they're gonna need a pretty good series of draws here to get out of this, or just another brainstorm. They were counting on brainstorm to kind of get them out of this this little bit of flub that they have right now. They draw Baleful Strix. Why are they fetching? Oh, they just want to fetch basic lands for their stuff. Okay. Edict them this turn, hopefully. Oh yeah, because they already been to land, so pretty good. I could Bolt plus Sylvan Library. Nah, I think just being resource efficient. Like, the Sylvan Library starts generating card advantage, but I really like the idea of just getting Liliana online early, I think. Edict you. They're worried about Wasteland. We Wastelanded them in the first game. Some gen decks play up to 4 copies of Wasteland. So they have Verdant, Trop, Bayou, Cavern, and then 2 cards we don't know right now. They could just peel a combo on us here. I'm gonna draw some discard spells. Punishing Fire. I think I'm gonna start with Faithless Looting here, see what we find. We find some lands. Discard spell. Found neither of those things. Huh. I'm binning this. Am I binning this Dark Confidant? Am I binning this Dark Confidant? Or this Rabblemaster? I think I'm binning the second Dark Confidant. Plus this. I think I'm gonna bin the Sylvan Library. I just want to play the Deathrite Shaman this turn. Oh, you know what? They're gonna discard a land tier. This is a mistake. I could have cast this. Okay. Now this lets me hold up Lightning Bolts. We've got that going for us, I suppose. Yeah, I should have assumed they were gonna discard a land because they're flooded. I have an Abrupt Decay or something here. They have, nope, they're just fetching to thin because they don't have anything going on for us. I don't know. This is just the one Magic Online auto imported for me, so I'm not super partial one way or another. This Liliana is going to be another Edict is pretty good here. Yeah, I think it's very probable that I should have assumed they were going to discard a land when I plus the Liliana and then cast the Sylvan Library last turn. So I'm going to get rid of these because they probably don't have them in their hand anymore. Will you ever play Pauper? Yeah, I'm planning to. We actually have a Pauper Nation deck list in the queue. We were doing a lot of Modern last month because the Modern Pro Tour was coming up. And I do also have... That's really good. I also have a... I'm going to Indianapolis for the Modern Open, I believe, later this month. So we're practicing for that as well. Alright, so what am I doing here? Exile this. I think I just have to bolt this, right? Pretty sure I just need to bolt this. I'll bet they board out the combo in matches like this that grind. I bet they board out the combo in matches that grind. Inquisition of Kozilek. There's 2 lands in discard piles here. So I guess I could have just Abrupt Decayed this too. Let's Inquisition and see what's up. We can still play the Rabblemaster this turn, potentially. If Shardless Agent, Cavern Harpy. Yeah, so we'll grab that. I really don't want to trade my Abrupt Decay for a Bayou. So I'm just going to go ahead and cast this Rabblemaster and attack the token into Liliana the Last Hope, and we'll hold the Abrupt Decay. Do nothing with the Liliana for now. Ponder's an okay hit. What am I playing at the Open? Probably a deck with 8 1-mana discard spells in it, because those decks performed very well at the Pro Tour, and they are very powerful. I'm going to spend some time testing Mardu Pyromancer, and I'm going to spend some time testing Traverse Death Shadow. If we win this game, we do get to sneak in the 5-0, which would be sweet. I like me some fun bucks. Yeah, Rabblemaster creates tokens that have haste, so we get to run it down with that. I don't play on the Pro Tour because it's very expensive to qualify for. And if I spend too much money playing Magic, my wife gets upset. So I'd much rather stay home and stream than, like, do something like that. Any thoughts about their unban next week? Hopefully a bunch of stuff. It'd be sweet. I read between the annoying shots fired, the internet sucks sometimes. Yep. Once I, like, prompted him to, like, give me some discussion, like, we had a good discussion, but just, like, he felt the need to shit on me before the discussion happened, which was a little annoying. Alright, well, now I'm willing to trade my... Certainly willing to trade my Badlands for a Bayou at this point. I think so. And then I get to hold this Abrupt Decay up. So they have Bayou... Cavern Harpy in hand right now. The Mardu deck with the Pyromancer package is much better. It's easily one of the best decks in the Modern format right now. The Nahiri package is really clunky and bad on average. So they'll be dead next turn, and then hopefully that locks the 5-0 up for us. Sweet. I think Jund's okay position in Legacy right now, and the Faithless Lootings feel kind of good. And the splash for the Hate Bears out of the board feels good. How much would they buy the cards for percentage wise? You can look on their site, and they have a public buy list on there. You can, like, submit cards, like submit what you'd be buying for what their buy list back is. So you're dead? Yeah! Rabble on, friends. Rabble on. Beep 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 beep. Yeah, all right, got it. Got it good. Sweet. Vroom vroom, deck's perfect, don't change a card. Yeah, you know, the usual. Thoughts on the deck after playing it? I don't know, I'd have to play. We were kind of giving thoughts as we played. Rabblemaster was just, like, kind of the stones. Really liked the inclusion of this card. It won the game for us in a lot of spots where Tarmogoyf would have been pretty anemic. The Faithless Lootings felt okay, but I definitely would need to play more games before deciding if they're just, like, too cute or actually worthwhile. You don't know. Like, I put a good bit of thought into the deck the other day when I put it together, so I think the core of what we have here is fine. I think, like, this archetype in general is good in Legacy. The last couple of times we've played Jund on stream, we've 4-1'd with it, so hitting that, like, the Rabblemaster's just... This is a card. If you are playing Jund in Legacy, you should play this Magic card. Beg, Borrow, and Steal, Terminator. I'm going to be messaging people to try and borrow decks. And if I can't find decks to borrow, I just won't go to the SCG event. Are we done already? We're done with this deck. Let's find out what we're going to do next. Do we want to play